Hello friends, Sarah Sunstone here, and welcome back to Thinking Out Loud. In today's episode, we will be taking a look at the latest edition of the Witchbrook Oracle together. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So here we have the first edition of the Witchbrook Oracle since the game's big announcement that it is coming to PC and consoles later this year. So I wanted to go through this with you guys because it does actually share some information about the game, some little hints, some little features confirmed, and even something very suspicious, which I would love to get your take on, so stick around for that. I will have this edition of the Oracle linked in the video description if you want to follow along with me. But first of all, we get a brand new photo here to look at. Once again, I love the environments in this game. Everything looks so detailed and cute. Specifically here, we can see a bunch of characters with different outfits, different customizations, and they're gathered near a windmill, which we saw in the trailer, surrounded by a bunch of tulips and kind of lining up for this market stall. So we're going to hear more about this scene in the Oracle, but I did want to note that there are a couple animals here. So there's a little dog and a little cat. I would love to know if there's going to be any options to bond with the animals or have an animal familiar or a pet or anything of that sort. So this edition of the Oracle is published on the 1st of spring and it's titled Bursting in Bloom's Annual Tulip Festival Returns. So this is our first confirmation of a festival, specifically Mossport's Spring Festival. And we're going to get more details on what exactly that's going to entail. So here it reads, if you've been noticing tulips sneaking into shop windows, classrooms, and somehow your own personal belongings, it's not just you. Mossport Spring Festival is almost here. Time to the day when Meadowlark Farm's tulip fields reach full bloom. This festival is one of the biggest highlights of the season, drawing in students and locals for a day of food, festivities, and competitive trinket shopping, which sounds so interesting. I've literally never heard of competitive shopping before, I don't think. We're gonna get a few more details on that a little later on, but I feel like that does have to do with this market stall specifically. So I like food, I like festivities, I like shopping in games. It's that retail therapy, but digital, virtual, it's great. According to this edition of the Oracle, there will actually be a pop-up food truck from Dobro's, which is one of the establishments we've seen in the city of Mossport. And we have actually seen that food truck in the trailer. So I am now thinking that this scene here is part of the Spring Festival, especially considering that there's a bunch of, tulips and flowers all around. It definitely adds up. If that's the case, it looks like we can purchase some accessories over here, as well as maybe some decorative items or photos here. And then this could be a flower stand in the center. So this is probably where we'll be doing some of our shopping. And it does say here that the festival stalls will be stocked with artisan seasonal goods. So most likely these would be special items exclusive to the festival, or at least the season, that you wouldn't be able to purchase at other events. Next, it goes on to say the biggest event of the day is the Mini Windmill Souvenir Showdown, which I believe is what they might have been referencing in terms of competitive trinket shopping. And we can see a mini windmill on this photo here. It says that students will battle it out for the most coveted colors, and the pastel shades will be the first to go, which is fair. I would definitely want to go for a pastel one too. So I don't know exactly if that's going to be the main event of the festival, maybe a mini game, or who knows, but competitive shopping over mini windmill souvenirs is really interesting. I've definitely never heard of anything similar to that. So very curious about how that's going to be implemented in the game. Apparently the festival is one of those rare events where just about the entire student body comes together. So based on this information, this will be a great spot to meet a bunch of the NPCs from Mossport and also the school. It's the perfect excuse to spend time with your coven and make memories with the people who make life at Witchbrook feel like home. And if you're feeling generous, tulips make the perfect gift, whether you're looking for a token of friendship or something a little more meaningful. If words fail you, flowers have been doing the talking for centuries. So this kind of suggests that gifting flowers, specifically tulips, might be a liked or loved item among many of the locals. So that's definitely a good tip for your gameplay. They even have the date of the festival, which is the 20th of spring, so we can look forward to that in terms of the game's calendar. This also leads me to believe that the year will probably be structured in a way that we're very familiar with in similar games. So it'll be spring, summer, autumn, winter. However, we don't know exactly how many days will be in each season just yet, at least 20, and the festival is located in a spot between campus and the town of Mossport. They said if you're worried about getting lost, just look for the giant windmill or hop on a bus. It stops right in front of the farm, so no excuses. Don't miss it, it only happens once a year. So that information definitely affirms to me that this is the location where the festival will take place, based on the windmill, the tulips, and we see that bus going by. It does kind of seem like we will actually be able to take the bus. And we have seen some bus stops in the trailer and a couple, actual clips of the bus en route. So that could be kind of like a fast travel method or just a way to get to different checkpoints essentially around the map. So the Oracle has a new editor now, who is Eli Ivers. And at first I thought this was someone on the team, but once I started reading, I think this is actually, one of the NPCs we're gonna meet in the game. So here it says, if you're holding this in your hands, congratulations. You have in your possession the first edition of the Witchbrook Oracle. It's been a while since the last issue, but I like to think that it just means we're returning at the perfect time. It's a fresh start for a fresh season. And honestly, I'm so excited that Witchbrook has broken their silence because I want all the information about this game. I'm so excited to play it. And please make sure you're subscribed to my channel with your notifications on so you don't miss out on anything related to Witchbrook as we approach the launch later this year. I'm so excited. We're going to get so hyped for it together. If we haven't met yet, I'm Eli Ivers, a post-grad student, part-time school shop cashier. Yes, that's me stacking witch hats with expert precision. So a school shop of some sort confirmed where we can purchase like little hats and maybe other witchy accessories. Eli's also an occasional tutor, but now he'll also be the guy standing in the Mossport post office, feeding coins into the photocopier to make sure this paper reaches your hand. So also a post office confirmed in the city of Mossport. I do wonder if that'll be functional to us, if we can send letters to other students, maybe other players. Maybe it's just a cute thing. Maybe we can pick up packages there. And so Eli is now the new editor-in-chief for the Oracle. Eli says if you've got something to say, a story to tell, or just like the idea of poking around for interesting leads, let's talk. The Oracle is back, and it's only going to get better from here, which is really exciting. You also have a cute little Mossport Postal Service stamp here. This is calling all witch students. Has the address here as well, 3 Marble Road. And here it says we're looking for high flyers to join the Mossport Postal Service team. Could this be you? Flexible hours available to work around your studies. So I actually think this is a hint at one of the little side jobs we can do, especially because they're noting that it can be flexible and done alongside your studies. So not just after you graduate. Initially, I thought it was going to be deliveries all via like a scooter based on the trailer, but they do say they're looking for high flyers here. So maybe we'll do some deliveries by way of broom as well, which would be really fun. And then over in the side column here, they have a cute little note from one of the students at Witchbrook College. It says, everywhere I look, students are sweeping through campus on their broom like it's second nature. Some of you are drifting corners, casually flipping your hair and landing without having to apologize to anyone. Once I even saw someone reading a book while flying 20 meters high. You're all so cool. Meanwhile, I require a 10-second breathing exercise just to take off, and even then I wobble, overcorrect, and end up nearly decapitating several students in the courtyard. What do I need to do? Do I need less fear, more core strength, better shoes? Someone please give me your tips. Help me before I just walk everywhere instead. I just love how they're doing this in such an immersive way to start painting that picture of how the world is going to be in Mossport and at Witchbrook College. Now, we have seen some footage of what appears to be broom class, so it looks like we will probably have to take a class or two to actually learn how to fly on a broom, and we don't really know at what point we'll be able to like roam freely around the world with that broom. Maybe we'll have to pass some tests or something first to be given free reign, but I think this is just really cool to like think about. It's going to be probably a primary method of exploration, and it does make me wonder if it's going to be like super easy to catch on to with how it controls, or if it might be like a little bit more challenging. Maybe we can upgrade our brooms too. Like maybe our initial broom will be a bit more difficult to control, and then as we upgrade it and, you know, quote unquote improve our skills, it'll feel like smoother. Maybe we can fly higher with it. Maybe we can go further distances. Like maybe there'll be some kind of upgrade system with that. So I think that's just cool to think about. And then beneath that in the column, this is from an anonymous, annoyed, and possibly cursed writer who says, respect your eldritch. It says, every spring, some bright-eyed student walks into the arcane arts classroom, which I believe is this room here, which we were actually just speaking on because of the flight class. And I think it's this one for a couple reasons. First of all, because of the fireplace, which they're going to mention. So that student looks upon the fireplace, the great unshakable monument to powers beyond comprehension, and thinks it could use a flower crown to look cute. A flower crown on the head of something that doesn't feel kindness, that doesn't acknowledge time as we do, that doesn't need to be made festive. And every spring, a petal falls into the flames. So every spring, I have to sit in rituals class and feel, as we all do, the moment it turns its gaze ever so slightly, watching from just beyond the edge of perception. So this kind of confirms rituals class. And this anonymous writer concludes by saying, I beg you, respect what you don't understand. The fireplace doesn't need floral decorations, it needs reverence. That fireplace really stood out to me in the trailer, and I wondered if there was any significance to it. It seems like it's almost its own entity, and I do feel like there'll be lots of things kind of around the world that almost come alive or like have a spirit to it, and maybe we'll be able to actually interact with some seemingly inanimate objects that maybe, you know, there's a little bit more to it than meets the eye. There's a couple of other little fun things at the bottom of the oracle. The first one reads, this season's hat styles. Wide brims are in, but at what cost? One student says, it's fashion. Another says, I can't see anything in class, which is so funny. And it brings me back to that stall where you could get little accessories. They also mentioned the school shop where you could purchase witch hats. So I do hope there's lots of options for that, because I feel like that's going to be one of the top fun things to customize would be that witch hat, like having one that really reflects your style. So I'm excited to see the variety of hats available. The next headline says, ranking the best snacks in Mossport, which sounds very tasty because I love a good snack. From Olive's pastries to late night vending machine runs, what's actually worth your money? I like the idea of having these late night vending machines around the college. I wonder if we can just get snacks there or maybe some other little odds and ends that could offer like buffs, for example. The final headline says, allergy season survival, brew your own cure, which is so fun because this is like our first reference to potion brewing. Here it says, learn which herbs help. Hint, it's peppermint, and which will just make you sneeze harder. We have seen what I believe is the potions class, and we've seen kind of like the area where it looks like we'll be able to dry different herbs and flowers and such. So definitely curious to know if we're gonna brew different like cures for folks around town. Maybe there'll be specific requests of like, oh, my allergies are so bad in the spring, like I need help. And like we'll accept that request and try to come up with a brew, maybe deliver that brew, I don't know. But it sounds like it could be so fun. So I really love that. And they gave us a little bit of a look ahead, like a little bit of a teaser for the next issue, which says, spring into action. Use your magic to give back to your community. So we'll have to stay tuned to learn more about what exactly that means. But there is something else in this edition of the Oracle, okay? And you might not notice it at first, but I initially noticed, which letter was it? There was one letter I noticed that popped out to me because it was like not the same color as the rest of the text. And that was the M right here. It's actually so easy to miss, but it's a like burgundy color compared to the rest of the text. And I was like, that's weird. Was that a mistake? And so then I started combing through the text to see if there were any other letters. And after like longer than I'd like to admit, I did find 4 letters that spell out omen, which is like very sus. And actually, if you go into the URL of the website and you add omen to the end of it, so if you go witchbrook.com/omen, you're gonna get this, which is like so curious. And so this does look very much like the altar in the Arcane Arts classroom. I feel like it is exactly that. And I don't know what it means. It looks like down here, it's very faint, but it says hello, I think. Why does it look like it's fading? Oh my gosh, I feel like my eyes are playing tricks on me after staring at these things for so long. It looks like it's literally getting like darker and brighter, but I think it's just my eyes. But yeah, this is interesting because it has like a sun, it looks like, and I don't know if this is a wand on the altar, and like some offerings, a bunch of flowers, which does tie into that like spring theme and festival. Some kind of skull here too, like a bird skull it looks like. So I have no idea what this means. I have no idea what this omen means. I don't know what they're hinting at. Maybe just whatever is next to come, whatever is like the next piece of news or the next edition of the Oracle. I don't know, but I would love to see if you guys can get any further than me on this. Like maybe this isn't even the last step. This is just as far as I could get, but maybe there's like another code here. Maybe there's like another step. So definitely let me know down in the comments if you guys figure out anything further. I love how they're giving us like an interactive like game puzzle thing like ahead of the game. I think that's so fun. Like I'm living for this like interactivity. Also, of course, let me know your thoughts on the Spring Festival, anything and everything. You know I always love hearing from you. Please go ahead and shine the lovely like button if you enjoyed today's video. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care.